Oh, Scotty. What the story, guys? This is Heritage here, just doing another vid. Just want to comment on an article that's in Forbes done by Scott Mendelssohn about rumours going around for a sequel for Birds of Prey. And it's just a masterclass in passive-aggressive rage, because on the one hand he's squashing any prospect of this happening because he's not stupid, but on the other hand he is taking every dig he can at the fact that it's happened. This is clearly the type of film him and his mates want actually to be popular out there, and the fact that it's absolutely bombed really does their heads in. That's why when he's talking about the fact that this thing isn't going to get a sequel, that he name drops other films that he knows people love. So for instance, he'll put Birds of Prey in the same category as Ghostbusters 2016, as Power Rangers, as but at the same time he'll name drop things like sorry, I got very windy there. He'll name drop things like Dread and Battle Angel Alita, all the while trying to put the narrative that it's actually not marketing that's crashed these films, but the R rating. That's what he says. He's trying to say that his opinion, that's what it is. It's the R rating that killed Harley Quinn. It's got nothing at all to do with the fact that it was a complete dumpster fire of a marketing campaign. Like, I mean, this is a film where they had to change the name of the film when it was out. I've never seen that before, so if they try and say that marketing has nothing to do with this, it's just hilarious, because he tried to say that the trailers were concise and exactly conveyed what type of film it was. That's not what I'm hearing from people who've gone to see it. Like, people like Yellow Flash have seen this film and actually quite liked it, said it was good. It wasn't as woke as you thought, but anyone I know that saw the trailers just saw a complete woke trash fire. And to try to imply as well that those other films didn't have an issue with marketing too. I mean, Dread's distribution was appalling. It ended up only being released in a select number of cinemas, and the emphasis on 3D only as a release screwed it up completely. Most people don't like 3D. Now, it looked fantastic in 3D. I really enjoyed Dread. I'm one of the few people that seen it in the cinema. But I mean, I had to travel 20 minutes by bus to go see it when I've got a 13 screen cinema 10-minute walk from me that I had to go past because it didn't have it. And as for Battle Angel actually succeeded. It actually made money. It isn't a flop, unlike what Scott's saying, and it actually has a good chance of getting a sequel, because it made over 400 million, and I only had a budget of 170, so it did quite well. When you compare that to the 200 that Birds of Prey made, it's ridiculous to try and compare the two. And remember as well about Battle Angel, it was going up against Captain Marvel. Like, there was a concerted campaign to do it down. There was an awful lot of attack by the media, by the Scotty Mendelsons of the world, to try and stop that film doing well. So it's actually guts them to have to admit that it's doing all right. So like I said, go to the website, go to Forbes, have a look at this article, because it's a masterclass in passive aggression rage, because it actually does do his head in that, this film isn't going to succeed. And he's trying to get all the digs in he can. I mean, he even actually says that the extended cut of Ghostbusters isn't a bad film. Good God, it was awful. All they actually did in the difference was they reintegrated the dance sequence at the end of it. The only result of that is that it doesn't make the film the worst edited film of the year, which was the stance it was previously in. There's two hilarious pieces in the article though. The first one is his definition of a breakaway success which merits a sequel, and he gives a breakdown of what these things are. I'll put it up on the screen grab so you can have a look. But he basically includes critical acclaim, that apparently this is a guarantee of a sequel. I think Michael Bay's 6 or 7 Transformers film would disagree with you that with Scotty. They all made $1 billion and nobody fucking liked them. There's not a critic out there thinks they deserve the sequel. I mean, it must do his head in that the most successful Transformers film, if I recall correctly, is Transformers Revenge of the Fallen, which doesn't even have a script. It was done during the writer's strike, and that still made over $1 billion. So it must do his head in, because I'm pretty sure, if anything, critical acclaim is probably going to kill a film, if anything. It certainly did last year. Every single critically acclaimed film to come out of Hollywood that was supposed to be a blockbuster crashed. But it's actually later on in the article where you get a second hilarious piece from him that really lets the SJW mask slip from Scotty Boy, because he does a whole little bit at the end where he says what he thinks the audience wants. And I might get it wrong because I'm doing it from memory instead of looking at the screen grab. The screen grab on screen, you can read it yourself and be agog at what it sounds like. He's basically projecting his failings onto the cinema-going audience, thinking that what he's concerned about is what everyone's concerned about. The list is something along the lines of saying that apparently what we want is diverse casting, unapologetic feminism, incredibly unladylike characters, all written by women of diversity who are directing and writing it. Now, I know I butchered it, but the actual quote is in the screen grab that I've got up there now. And it's just hilarious, because, I mean, this is the great thing about SJWs. If you ever want to know when they're in the wrong, just flip what they've said. Flip what they've said and see if it sounds any good to you at all. Can you imagine if he wrote an article saying that what the cinema-going audience is homogenised cast, meninist ideologies, decrying women all the time, where basically the film consists of a bunch of men beating the crap out of every woman they find, and women are pretty much the only security and military forces in the film. Incredibly unmanly characters behaving in an unmanly manner. All written and directed exclusively by men, and directed by men. He'd be strung up if he wrote an article like that, and rightly so. Like I said, this is where these guys let the mask slip. The reason why he's writing this article, the reason why he's supposedly supporting all these films, is because of the staggering level of privileges him and his peer group enjoy. They have for years existed in an industry where they have gay-kipped people who are just as capable of them out of it, and they're feeling guilty. It's not even a race or a gender thing. It's actually an affluence thing. You know, like if anyone can do your job suddenly ain't worth that much. But if only 10, 12 people are allowed into it, suddenly you're earning 100,000 a year. And the reality is, thanks to social media, thanks to things like YouTube, Scotty boys know that there's plenty of people out there quite willing to put up analysis that's just as good as his for free on YouTube, and just take whatever they get in advertising, or if you're just like myself, doing it for a laugh. Or as a hobby, you know, so it's just funny to see these guys do these articles. I mean, to see him actually try to try really creative films in like Dread, like Battle Angel Alita, you know, like in with films like Ghostbusters and Harley Quinn, it is just ridiculous. I mean, if you look at Ghostbusters 2016, the whole reason that film got made was because the person who was running Sony at the time wanted a team of women in a movie. Didn't matter what the film was about, didn't matter what the team consisted of, what the story was, anything. She just wanted more female heroes. And that's why when they got the Ghostbusters script, they just rewrote it to do that, ran with it, and made a complete mess of the bloody thing. Because there was no actual story, there was no actual fidelity to what's come before, or world building based on it or anything. It was just basically an attempt to get out an agenda-driven film as opposed to tell a story that would appeal to people who are fans of the original franchise and show a bit of love to it, you know, like, so it basically the cynical aspect of it is why that crashed and burned as much as anything else. So like I said, it's up on Forbes, give them the traffic, have a laugh at it when you see this guy's impotent rage at, you know, like a film him and his would really want to succeed to crash and burn and try and drag everything else down and slag off the audience, because he does say that we wanted this film when we clearly didn't. I mean, I'll be honest with you, there's a side of me that actually still thinks this is a twin-track approach by the guys who are producing the films in the studio, because the same guy who signed off on Harley Quinn is the same guy who wrote off on Joker. And I mean, if you look at them, they're two diametrically opposed films. You got one that supposedly embraces all the political ideology that was supposed to be popular, that was supposed to bring in loads of money for people in the cinema, if you listen to Twitter. And then you had the one that basically harkens back to the 1970s aesthetic of good storytelling, character development, intense and strong examination of a narrative of a man whose life is falling apart. So I mean, I didn't actually go to see Joker either. You know, like Joker made $1 billion. You know, like, but the reason I didn't go was exactly because of what I've just said. It struck me as being more like Taxi Driver, and that's a really harsh film to watch. But there's plenty of canonical evidence of films that are like that do enormously well. If you look at Shawshank Redemption, that's a harsh film. There's a lot of fluid stuff going on in that. You look at stuff like Seven, you know, like stuff like The Usual Suspects and that. These are films that take a lot of chances, you know, like. And I can't help thinking that whoever that producer was just said to themselves, right, we're going to trial these, whichever one's the most successful is what we're going to concentrate on from now on. Because if you look at the budget for Harley Quinn, not a million miles away from Joker. And one got roundly trashed and ridiculed. The other one won an Oscar and has made $1 billion. So I mean, if I was the guy that was in charge of that studio now, I'd be making a dozen or more Joker type films costing maybe 50 million and laughing all the way to the bank. So in a way, I actually see this as a kind of an extended marketing campaign to test the bona fides of Twitter, to see actually what people are saying are actually what people are going to put their money down for, or if they just stick with what they know, tried and tested, like brings in the readies. And if that's the case, then Joker's just one hand down, and we can look forward to actual decent storytelling again, instead of last year's 2019 crapfest of basically every blockbuster being a polemic and a lecture on us about, you know, the prevailing ideologies of the people who made it. And that just does the heads in of the Scotty Mendelsons of the world, because they're the guys that are supposedly selling that narrative. So there you go, guys, just a brief video there. Have a look at it, like I said, get a right laugh out of it. I mean, I couldn't get over his description about what he thinks we actually want to see. I mean, like I said, I mean, he invokes John Wick at one stage. You know, I don't know who directed John Wick. I don't know who wrote John Wick. And I didn't know up till very recently that Keanu Reeves is mixed race. None of that mattered to me. All I knew was that the guy who was in The Matrix, who has a track record of doing fantastic action films, was actually going to be doing a new film. It looked slick in the trailer, and it looked like a hell of a lot of fun, and it turned out to be. And it got massive word of mouth and became one of the best films of the year. So the secret, Scotty, to success isn't to have all this virtue signaling nonsense or this checklist of boxes that you need to tick, but just produce a good film. Okay, guys, take care, look after yourselves. Have a good one. Bye bye. Oh, if you like this, like and subscribe, share, and have a good time.